In this video, I'll explain how I use Claude AI and Google Calendar to be organized at the beginning of every week. This doesn't mean that you have to use Claude, it's just a personal preference, and I really like to use it, but any AI that can connect to your Google Calendar will be fine. For context, I am a student trying to balance sports, academics, spending time with family, and a bunch of other things, so this is something that is really helpful for me. Every week, usually on Sundays, I like to do a weekly reset where I evaluate how the last week went and what I can do in the week to come to improve upon that. I have Claude ask me the same questions every week in order for it to know what I am planning on doing this week, like the events in my life. And in order to plan my week, I have Claude connected to my Google Calendar so that when I answer these questions, Claude will immediately add them as events in Google Calendar without me needing to do really anything. So this saves me a lot of time, and Claude already knows a lot about me and about my life. So it is really a fast process now that I've gotten it to do this for me. Now I will teach you how to connect your Google Calendar account to your Claude account to make organizing your calendar so much easier. Once you've opened Claude, head to the bottom left corner and click on the logo with your initials. From there, go to Settings, then Connectors. You'll see a link that says Connectors have moved to Customize. Click that and it'll bring you to the Connectors page, where any integrations you've already added will be displayed. Hit the plus button at the top, select Browse Connectors, and search for Google Calendar. Claude will prompt you to sign in with your Google account. Select the right one and continue. When it asks what you want Claude to have access to, I recommend selecting All. It gives Claude full functionality and lets it do everything you might need. Press Continue and you're all set. You'll notice that read-only tools are always allowed by default, while writing and deleting tools require your approval first. You can adjust those permissions however you'd like, but right out of the box, your Google Calendar is connected and ready to go. Once you've connected your Google Calendar, here's a prompt that I use on a weekly basis in order to plan your week. It will be in the description as well. The AI will now ask you a bunch of questions as you asked it to do, and I like to answer them in full detail to give it as much info at the beginning as possible so that the future weeks are much easier. And it'll ask you about your basic life, like what times you wake up and go to bed, school or work assignments and deadlines, which days of the week you like to exercise, when you eat your meals, and when you want some free time and preferences you may have with Google Calendar. For me, just doing this really helps me feel more on top of things and more organized because I'm thinking about everything going on in my life. Answering the questions is also really fun, for me at least, when you get to watch the AI add all the events to your Google Calendar really quickly. Now that Claude already has a good idea of how your week goes and what kind of events you have going on in your week, it will be much easier to plan it the second time. All you'll need to say to the AI is plan my week, and it will automatically, just from memory, ask you 3 simple questions, or it will ask you those questions and you get to answer them much faster, just like kind of outlining things that you wouldn't have on a week-to-week basis, that timing that might have changed. So something like a random pickleball Sunday that you have that you didn't have before, something like that. You get to add those in, and other than that, the AI will know your basic schedule and will be able to make your Google Calendar much faster. If you struggle to balance everything going on in your life and it's tough to keep track of everything that you're doing, just like it was for me, I think this method will really help you in organizing your life and feeling more on top of things, as it really feels rewarding when your calendar is filled in and you know you thought of everything, and it is a really satisfying feeling. Also, here's a little update about my stretching for the 90-day goal. I stretched over 10 minutes every day except for 2 days. So I missed 2 days out of the first 10, which is not great, but I made up for it with a 30-minute stretching session Friday. So that was 3 days ago. And I also stretched 25 minutes 2 other days. So I think that's fair because I said at least 10 minutes per day. So I missed 2 days, but kind of made up for it. And I used Claude again, actually, to create me a spreadsheet where I can track the stretching daily. So every time I stretch, I just type in how much I stretched for, what kind of stretching I did, and it'll automatically show me a graph of my progress and everything. So it's another thing you can do if you are interested in following with me the stretching 90-day goal. And yeah, Claude is really helpful with a lot of things like that. It'll make you pretty much anything you want if you know how to use it. All right. So I actually recorded this video last week, but just haven't gotten around to editing it this entire week. So I just finished editing it finally, but I'm sorry that it was a bit late. I know I said I would be uploading once every week, and I kind of broke the trust a little bit, but I hope the quality of this video makes up for it, because I put a lot more effort into it and I learned a lot about video editing along the way. So yeah, that's basically how I wanted to end off the video. I hope you made it this far. I really appreciate it if you did. Yeah.